This is the Manual Jack, and today we're going to do a product overview to give you a better idea of why we built it the way it is. So belly up, baby bird. Mama's got a treat. We'll start at the top and work our way down, explaining each one of the features and why they exist. Wait! Before we continue, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Now, back to the show. Starting with the drive nut, which we've made to accept a 3/4 or 19mm socket. That way the same socket you're using to take off most lug nuts will also drive the Manual Jack. Now for those that run lug nuts that require the larger 1-inch socket, we do offer an adapter so that you don't have to carry 2 different sockets to perform a repair or change a tire. This drive nut is directly attached to the screw that powers the jack. No extra gears or fancy business to complicate the system or add weight. And the screw is wound so that you're using your impact gun in the reverse or unscrewing direction when lifting your vehicle. This way you're using your impact gun's max torque when you need it the most, the lifting of the vehicle. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The drive housing is made from billet aluminum and houses a bushing and needle bearing that supports the load of the screw while you're lifting. Like all components on this jack, it's made as small and lightweight as possible. In addition, it's an upper travel stop for the adjustable collar. That way the collar can't fall off and get lost. From here down, the features are very similar to the electric jack, starting with the 2.5-inch diameter heavy wall aluminum housing that's made to carry the load of each lift without failure. And you'll notice the hardware at the top of the housing. Now instead of hiding these, like we did at every other connection point, we left them exposed so the jack could be serviced easily. Simply extend the jack, remove these 4 screws, and then slide the aluminum housing down. Now you have access to the drive screw. Using a high-load grease, lubricate the threads of the drive screw on a regular basis to ensure long life. We also countersunk these screws. Now this was to give you a full 17 inches of adjustment with the adjustable collar, so that you can set the lifting height to the component you wish to lift without ever using an inch of the travel of the jack. In addition, the collar is quick release, giving you 360 degrees of adjustment, allowing you to position the jack on uneven surfaces and still giving you a lifting point that is parallel to the component you're trying to lift. And this is for when you're using the weld-on jack points. And when using the universal hook, this allows you to position the jack further under the load, giving you a more stable lift. On the topic of stability, you'll notice instead of a standard pin or arm design, there's a channel or groove here. This modular design gives you options, allowing you to use the weld-on jack points, the universal hook mentioned before, or create your own lifting option to better suit your individual need. The weld-on jack points weld to your suspension or chassis and slide into the channel on the adjustable collar, creating a mechanical connection between the car and the jack, removing any chance that the car could fall off the jack on its own. Sturdy enough that you can actually climb or work on the vehicle while it's in the air. Now we provide extra material on the back side of each one of these mounts to allow for modification to fit a radius tube or an angled plate while still keeping the face of the jack point vertical, ensuring the best lifting angle. They're also a great start if you want to create your own custom adapter. The universal hook has 2 lifting options within it. The first is this 3x4 lifting pad, which is great for picking up on suspension or the side of the vehicle. The second is the J-hook here, which is great for grabbing tubes. One example where this product works great is say if you've lost a wheel and now the suspension and rotor hub are in the dirt. With more traditional lifting options, they can't get low enough to pick this corner up. But with the universal hook, you can reach near ground level, grab the suspension component with the hook, bring the car up high enough to perform the repair and get back on the trail. Okay, back to the drive screw. This jack was built not only to be light, but fast. And that's one of the key differences between the electric jack and the manual jack. This unit was built for speed. With lifting times only taking a few seconds. Now, I should also note, because of the differences between the 2 units, it's not possible for you to take your manual jack and convert it to an electric jack, or vice versa. We attach the pad with a cross bolt. Now this allows you to fold the pad flat when storing, and if things get real hairy, this can be used as a shovel when in this position. If you're not a fan of things folding or pivoting, you'll notice that we've added a second set of holes here. This is to cross pin the pad, fixing it in place and preventing that movement. On the bottom of the pad, you'll see this concave design. The reason for this is to compress the sand under the jack. Now this is super important, especially on impact operated jacks. The shock loads from your impact gun can act like a jackhammer, driving a flat pad further into the sand. But with this concave design, it collects and compresses the sand directly under the jack, creating a more stable base to lift from, and you don't lose any travel driving into the sand. And that's it. Be prepared for anything with AGM jacks.
Hey!